Shae from mining.com.au, and I'm coming to you from the Noosa Mining Conference. Sitting next to me is the Managing Director of PolarX, Jason Berton. Jason, it's great to see you. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We were both talking about how we're loving the heat and humidity coming out of Noosa right now.
Yeah, we were, weren't we?
All right, now let's get away from the heat and humidity of Noosa. You've got some very interesting projects, Alaska, Idaho, Nevada. Tell me, what is your company's key focus for the moment?
At the moment, the key focus is on Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a season of drilling up at our Caribou Dome project.
Mm-hmm.
We've announced the final results of that yesterday, and I presented here describing that to the audience. And right now, the focus is on how do we further the development there in the next few seasons.
You've got a couple of projects located in the US. Now, with Trump coming to power again, we know he's likely to bring nationalistic type policies with him when he takes office next year. Tell me, are any of your projects maybe likely to benefit from this new administration?
Yeah, so it's Trump Mark II. I like to look in history and see what the indicator is going to be for the future. Back when we first started being active in Alaska, Obama had a waterways policy that was quite restrictive. And in the first month that Trump came to office, he removed that. Now, the drill baby drill mantra that they've been talking about, that's to explore on federal ground. Now, that's under what's called Bureau of Land Management jurisdiction. And at the moment, there is a restrictive environmental permit. You're restricted to how much ground clearance you can do before progressing to the next level. And that level can be quite onerous. So whether you're drilling oil and gas or for metals, you're going to need that layer removed. So my forecast is I won't be surprised if that's the first thing that he modifies. So for us, that would be a positive change. It's just less red tape.
All right, so let's step back and look at your Alaska project. Now, obviously, you've just finished drilling. So what are your key points for this message or your key takeaways after this drilling season and going into next year?
Yeah, so we took a very methodical approach this season where we drilled angled diamond core. And so ore oriented. So what that means is when you pull the rock out of the core barrel, you can reconstruct how it lies in situ. And from where our projects lie, they're in a structurally complicated zone. It's what's known as a thrust fold belt, and it means that the geometry of the ore body is quite complex, and there's displacements and so forth. So, doing this detailed structural work, it allows us to reconstruct the structural history, better define the ore body geometry, and ultimately improve our targets for follow-up drilling. But it's not just Caribou Dome that applies to, because these structures are tectonic in scale and they occur across the whole belt. And we have like a 35-kilometre strike length.
Oh, wow, that's super long.
Yeah, but all of the rocks in that belt have undergone the same tectonic history. So what we learn at Caribou, we can take to the other projects as well. So for us, it's exciting that I think it's going to lead to extensions of ore bodies we've currently got and quite possibly new discoveries as well.
So that sounds certainly quite promising. But we've got the winter season setting in Alaska. Are you starting to look at new drill programs going into the winter season, or are you just going to hit 2025 with fresh eyes?
So it's the consolidation phase now. We've done the interpretation. We're into rebuilding models, the 3D models that we've got to plan ahead for next year. We'll review how that what the situation is with the resource model, whether or not there's an upgrade possible, and then how does that tie into a follow-up on the scoping study that we released in January this year. There may be opportunity to improve that as well. So, and then that leads into next year's program of where to focus the resources.
All right, well, it sounds like there's going to be a lot of action coming out of PolarX over the next few months. I'm very looking forward to see what happens for you going forward. Thank you so much for being here with me today, Jason.
Thanks for taking the time to have the interview.